Firefighters say there's no such thing as a routine fire call since every structure fire and call is different.
But firefighters say in the last year they've seen a handful of homes that are a little more dangerous than others. Fox 28 News reporter Kevin Barry explains how homes with excessive clutter can actually teach us all a lesson.
Excessive clutter causes a bunch of issues. Living in that kind of environment causes emotional stress. It can be physically dangerous, too. The buildup of materials is gradual, but the causes often aren't. The issues that lay the groundwork for clutter or hoarding affect plenty of people. OCD, depression, other mental health issues all set the scene until Becky Esker at Get Organized says something pushes them over the edge.
Generally, with someone who's a hoarder, you can almost go back and look and see at something that happened in their lifetime that was kind of that turning point.
Something like a death in the family could mean inheriting a house full of stuff.
And then once you get so far in with becoming having so much stuff, it's really hard to dig yourself out without any help.
And it gets dangerous fast. In this fire, a toaster was found on the stove. Jennifer Robb runs simple organizing strategies and says the worst house she was ever in was a hoarder's.
And there was, 4 feet of paperwork, clothes, that sort of thing, but then running through the middle of that was an extension cord that was plugged into a fan.
It was asking for a fire, but even before it gets to an extreme level, when just over-cluttered rooms are hard to walk around, the danger is real.
When you have a lot of stuff, you've got kindling for the fire. So the more stuff you have, the more kindling, the more likely that the fire is going to either expand much greater than what it's not going to be limited to one area, or you may not be able to put it out as easily.
Everybody back.
When that fire starts,
Cameras on the yellow.
It doesn't take much to make a bad situation worse.
Whenever we're, responding to an incident, obviously, time is our biggest enemy.
Everything in homes, even ones that aren't all that cluttered or messy, can cause problems in a fire. More stuff means more weight that can make floors or entire homes collapse when it gets really bad. And when the flames are raging, messy belongings just get in the way for firefighters who are already battling the heat and smoke.
Very simple things like just trying to navigate through some of these spaces, and most of the time our crews don't know it until they get inside.
Brown says in the past they've seen several hoarder homes with trash everywhere. There was one time a year ago when Brown didn't like what he was hearing over the radio.
From where I was sitting, it didn't sound good, and I wanted everybody out.
The fire department says moving around in extreme heat with heavy gear is tiring enough. If they get into a situation where it's even harder to move around a home with clutter everywhere, it's safer for everybody to stay out.
So I really like these shelves.
Avoiding tragedy eventually ends with cleaning a cluttered room, but it starts in the head.
The challenge with the psychological part of that then is to trying to get them once again to think differently about their stuff and realize that this is something that probably is not in their best interest to keep.
Jennifer says her first step is to take a walk around, surveying the space they're working with.
And I say to them, if there's anything that you see that you immediately know you don't want anymore, let's pull that out.
Becky says she helps clients understand which possessions will actually serve a purpose.
All of a sudden you'll see them go, wow, I don't need this. And thinking, oh my gosh, I'm okay with that.
Once it's narrowed down, any kind of containers serve as a home for the possessions that are left.
And at the end of the day, everything doesn't have to get perfect, but if everything gets picked up and put away and back in its cubby, then the room can function.
Cedar Rapids doesn't have specific ordinances to do with hoarding or clutter, but it does have general requirements that make people keep their homes reasonably clean and safe. Those are the codes that are used to compel tenants, landlords, or anybody else to clean up when the clutter gets dangerous. Kevin Barry, Fox 28 News.